Hello and welcome to the latest episode of How I Failed in Business. The business podcast is designed to take a little different look at business and celebrate more of the failures, the mishaps and the blunders and the boo-boos so that you can either learn from them or laugh from them. I'm one of your hosts, Rob Spence, and as always, I'm joined by...
Sophia Grace, your other host.
The better host, as always, I will say. Are we, just at the time of recording this, have we done our live show? No, that's coming out next week. Week after, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Oh, we'll cut this bit out.
Wait.
So the live show's the 13th of November.
I think it might be either it was last week or it's the following week.
Yeah,
so
anyway, we've hopefully
there
recovered. I don't know where I was going with any of that. But in today's episode, we are joined by a fantastic guest. We're joined by Gavin Taylor of Dot and Lola.
Hi.
Hi, Gavin.
Thank
Good
you for
to see
having
you.
us, yeah.
No, I nearly still stumbled up on your name there. I still stumbled up. But thanks for joining us. You're a can we say Leicestershire lad? Still Leicestershire where you were?
I grew up in Quorn, but yeah, Leicestershire. I bought my first house very early on and thought I was a townie and ended up in Leicester. But yeah, totally.
Yes.
Love Leicestershire. Yeah.
Yeah, so quite local, and you've got a fantastic brand, an array of fantastic products, some of which are sort of dotted around our table in front of the beautiful Gail Platt portrait. But tell us about yourself. Tell us about Dot and Lola, and we'll go from there.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know if you want to call me a serial entrepreneur, but this has always been my passion, like products and cosmetics, because I suffered really bad skin allergies as a child, eczema, allergies to even grass. I couldn't step foot on cut grass because I would come out in hives. And that lasted for decades. My parents would give me creams and pharmaceuticals that would make it worse. So it's always been a bugbear. I couldn't find a product or a cleanser or a bubble bath or anything that wouldn't harm my skin or make me come out in hives. So I always put it on the back burner. But in my 20s, I started to sort of make it myself. Having been a chef early on in my career, I knew how to create things, and then a hairdresser, and it all just came together. And in my 20s, thought, well, let's start making my own out of plant-based ingredients. And that's where it stayed, really. I sold it in the salon that we had. Didn't really think that we'd go, around the world with it, or even out of the village where we were. But everyone loved it. So, we thought, let's get serious and start a real brand that has meaning, and make sure that it's plant-based, sustainable, cruelty-free, refillable, and passes all the 2030 agenda, products. So here we are. Dot and Lola was born about 18, 19 months ago. And now we're getting the word out to mainly hospitality venues, because they use a lot of little plastic miniatures in hotel rooms that we all steal or take.
Do we?
And I'm trying to convince these guys that that's dead and buried. You don't do that anymore. And people appreciate, us looking after the planet and refilling rather than giving cheap freebies. So we're making waves. We've hit the ground running, and it's probably we started manufacturing for 3 Mandarin Orientals, Prague, Oman, and Greece very early on, and I thought I'd won the lottery. I thought this is it, but each one took 6 months to secure. So we're now coming back to the UK and just going, look, this is where it's at. Logistics are really tough exporting, so let's concentrate on the UK. Let's change the standards here, and then we can branch out. So I've got more experience and don't make so many mistakes.
I love it. So let's have a little look. So look at that one. So that's what would go into a hotel, is
hotel
it? Yeah, that's a refillable.
So, we have black powder coated steel brackets, custom made for those bottles, which lock in position so people can't take them, because that's always a concern of the hotel. And they're refilled either through the recyclable pouches, or we provide a 5-litre drum or up to 20-litre drums for large locations.
Oh, wow.
But 5 litres can quite easily be carried around on the housekeeping trolley and be refilled quite quickly, easily, no mess. So and saving the hotel tons of cash because they don't realise, but those little miniatures upwards of 30 pence each. There's 4 or 5 that you take, isn't it?
Oh yeah, take them all.
Slippers and gowns. So we're saying spend a bit more on the product, invest in a premium product that everyone's going to use, because in my research, 65% of people don't use the amenities. Like especially women who want to use premium shampoo, they take their own.
Yeah,
absolutely. I just did this recently on a holiday.
I mean, it's crazy that they're supplying a product that no one's using but taking.
Yeah.
So
and we've all got those cupboards full of them.
And I do collect them.
And they come in handy. Let's face it. The little coffee sachets.
Yeah. Oh, the coffee.
I'm taking the coffee.
So we've got. So this one's a shampoo. Can I? Because these are the samples. Can I open this one?
Of course.
Right?
Have a smell. That would be for your hair. That would be for your hair, Rob.
So
this is clarity.
The awesome quiffs. Oh, that's good.
And this one is for my hair, which is dry and coloured hair.
That's the one.
Which is what I absolutely have.
Yes.
And I have also just the most unruly hair in the universe. It's so curly.
Smell that. That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the same one?
Oh,
no, that's the repair. One. So that's different. That's more cleansing for product build up. That the clarity.
So then we've got an orange peel, grapefruit, and lemon.
Yeah, those two are the same.
So what's this one? Sorry, this is the bergamot.
It smells delicious.
But they're all aromatherapy grade oils. So no synthetic fragrances, or we use a food grade preservative.
Not open that.
But apart from that, it's naturally derived.
Oh, hand lotion is what I need.
So yeah, we don't use any. Well, they are man made because we have to man make each individual, but it's not synthetic.
Yes.
So it's also biodegradable liquid, meaning, and no one really understands when everything goes down your plug hole. It actually doesn't biodegrade on most of this stuff, and it goes into the waterways, and it harms the wildlife and the ground, and some have contained microplastics that we then drink.
Yeah.
And this is the problem, this ecosystem that we're destroying, whereas ours goes back to Earth, completely back to Earth. So no harm to anyone.
That's
whatsoever.
Great.
Skin safe.
And what I will say, I mean, I've only met you. Well, I say met. We kind of bumped into each other at a networking event very briefly. But what I will say is, and I'm not here to blow smoke, you're creating a brand because you truly believe in what it is you're pitching. No disrespect to a lot of people that I speak to. They create a brand because they want to get rich. They create a brand or a product because they go, there's a gap in the market, or I saw someone else do this, they got rich from it. Everything I've seen with you is that you believe in this.
Yeah, totally. I think for me, and it's probably been a bit of a...
It smells amazing.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bugbear of my father, actually, because when I was younger, we'd walk past some money on the street. It might be 10p, 20p. And he said, quick, go pick it up. And I'm like, no, it's not mine. And he just had this thing about, like, why don't you pick money up? It's like, it's not an interest of mine. It's not my first thought. It comes to me because we do good things and we give value. But my first thought is helping others and obviously the future generations. And second, what will come of that is in turn money. So when your first thought is financial gain, it very quickly can eat away at you. And, whether you sleep at night or not, I just think if you're doing good in the world, if you're earning money or not, you're going to be happy.
You're winning.
You're winning, yeah. Absolutely.
I love that. Absolutely. Before we come on to some of your failures, and I'm only saying that because you've hinted at some of them, and I know you've prepared for our fail or fiction game. Are we allowed to ask about the name of the brand? I love the story about the name. Are we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the failures.
I didn't know that.
But I'll tell you that later. But Dot and Lola was the second name of this company. But I was trying to be too clever, I felt, the first time round. And when we were going through, as you do, baby names or any decision-making when you're naming a brand or a business, you overthink. And then when I just looked, I think maybe it was a picture of my daughter came up on my phone. And her nickname's Dot. Oh wow, that's it, Dot. And our youngest middle name is Lola. Dot and Lola sits really well, sounds good. And then I thought, oh, does it sound too childish? But then it lent into why we were doing it, and it's all about them. It's all about the future generations and why we need to change the direction and direction of cosmetics and how much chemical input we're putting into our system, and the damage caused to the planet. So Dot and Lola was born, and it was the fact that it meant so much to me that I will put everything into this until I'm, on my knees. And we've made some, amazing leaps forward since the name change. And I think people now get it. Whereas the name before was a brand. It was clever. The name was clever, but I was trying to be too high end and not be true to my mission, I guess. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
We've kind of alluded that maybe some of the biggest failures around that are part of the fail or fiction game. So shall we jump into the fail?
Shall we?
I think we should. Cue the music, Moles. So for those of you new to the podcast, we play a game most weeks with our guests called Fail or Fiction. I think you've got the most warning out of a lot of our guests to date, which is good. So
More than a minute.
Yeah. Thing is, I messaged Gavin. We were messaging each other yesterday, I think, just to make sure it was still on. And I didn't think, I should probably mention this. It was just a shower thought this morning. But with Fail or Fiction, what we do is we ask our guests to create 3 stories, 2 of which are true, and one of them is a complete fabrication, a complete lie. Mm-hmm. And Sophia and I have to dive deep and guess which one is which. So have you prepared the 3 stories?
Yeah, I've got many, but I've prepared
Top
3 for you. Yeah,
go on, then. Try and catch us out.
So here goes. So when I was, I must have been 18, 19, I'm just qualified as a hairdresser, but, earning quite a small amount of money. And eBay had just come on the scene and you could set up a shop. And I thought, I could earn some money on the side hustle and all that. And I don't know if you heard of drop shipping, but I discovered drop shipping, which you didn't have to own any of the stock. You would just put the images on your eBay shop, someone would buy them, and then they would be shipped by the wholesaler or the distributor, and I would get the difference. Genius. I was like, all right, okay, I can do this on the side, going through the drop shipping lists, and it's like, adult toys. This is brilliant. Because obviously my girlfriend at the time wouldn't want a whole room of adult toys in the house.
Would she not?
Well, I just thought, it's the worst thing I could ship or tell my mum about. And I thought, brilliant. So collected all the images and put them on all the descriptions onto eBay. And honestly, the sales went through the roof. And I thought, this time next year, Rodders, we'll be there. And maybe 2 weeks in, eBay shut us down. I was like, what's going on? And anyway, they wrote to me an email saying, unfortunately, their algorithms aren't so high. They're not as good as they are now. And if you put Toy Rabbit in the search box, mine came up next to Toy Rabbits. And obviously they couldn't.
For kids, yeah.
For kids. So, yeah, that was quickly shut down. But the mistake was I should have just set my own website up and started again. That was the first one. Second one, so 2010, I think it was, things do bug me. I want to change everything. And it was lines on the road. So when the council paint the lines on the road, they quickly disappear, don't they? They have to come and do it again. Yeah. So I started a business of an idea for the council to take on. So I thought we can impregnate white gravel into the road as they were tarmacking the road as the lines.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got a patent on the machine that would do this and named the company, set it all up. And I was like, right, okay, now I need to go and sell this idea to the council. But unbeknown to me, the council don't take on external work, or they do it all themselves. So although they thought the idea was good, it failed like immediately. And
Because they couldn't take
I'd spent 6 months on this project, countless thousands of pounds, thinking I'm going to change the way roads are painted. And I didn't pursue it, although I think it's a really good idea.
Okay.
But, and more recently is the No Ordinary brand that we originally had with Dot and Lola, or the product. I won't name, I can't because there's an NDA on it, but I set up No Ordinary, and 2 years in, I got a letter from a company worth 8.3 billion saying I need to cease and desist. I was like, what? I've got my trademark, I've got all my legal pack and everything. I was all covered. I didn't know what I'd done wrong, but I didn't realise that an 8.3 billion pound company can just bully you into submission. So we were happy to change our name, but we asked for some money, and they paid us a little bit of money, and we rebranded to Dot and Lola.
Okay.
So that's three of them.
I'll be honest, that stumped me a little bit because you were all genuine in every one of those stories.
And they're all very detailed.
They are detailed. I think, look,
Is my mic a bit...
Yeah, it did look like, from my angle, it looked like you were eating it. I think from what Gavin was saying earlier, I think number 3 is a true story.
I think number 3 is a true story because I think I know the brand that you're talking about.
I do recognise the brand. Well, I recognise No Ordinary.
No, you don't. You recognise something very close.
Mm-hmm.
Do I?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, I've got an NDA on it, and
it's a sort of a bit of a like easy life situation.
Yeah.
We were talking about that on the
yeah,
podcast recently.
Yeah.
Do you know the band Easy Life?
Oh.
They got
Who
a
was
cease
it?
and desist from
Chewy?
EasyJet.
EasyJet.
Right,
EasyJet.
Yes.
Yeah.
And EasyJet have been going around. There was even like a jet washing guy in Coventry he was like EasyJet washing, and it's like EasyJet just going around like you can't have easy in your name at all. We should make an easy podcast just to piss them off.
Yeah, I can call mine that.
Yeah, exactly. Easy business. See how long it takes.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the true story.
I
or
think
one of the
that
true
will be
stories.
true. I think the first one had so many layers to it that it sounded true.
Yeah, and I think if we're looking at it, I don't know, I'm just sort of guessing. I think you would have been right. eBay would have just been coming out. The whole drop shipping thing, although it's still prevalent now, obviously happened a lot during
on the rise.
Early stage of eBay. I can understand search terms getting messed around.
Yeah.
But because you said at the start of the podcast, you're a serial entrepreneur, I would have assumed you would have just taken that on without eBay. Like you set up your own shop.
There was two. This was a side hustle.
Yeah.
So
that's
how
true.
much time are you really wanting to invest in it if you're doing it on
the side? And then we've got the road markings, which you
is
said,
a great idea.
I looked at impregnating. I wondered where you were going.
I really was like, what?
Well, I didn't know what to call it as a business.
I wondered where we were going. I thought in my head, I thought Beatles. You were going to get so we're going to put some gravel into the road. See, I think it's a great idea, but I would have thought you'd have done the research to.
Yeah.
Shall we look? Let's try and get one out the way. Shall we?
Should we lock in one that we think is true?
So what do you, Molly? We forgot about you. Look at it. Her mic's on. She's primed. She's ready. Her pen is blocking. Molly, what are your initial thoughts?
I think the last one is right.
True.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Maybe.
That's the word. True. I'm leaning more towards the middle one. The one about gravel.
The gravel
is not real.
Okay. You could be right. Shall we lock in
Should we
the
lock
last
in
one?
that the last one
Lock in
is
the last
true?
one.
Right. So Gavin, is the last story you told us a true story?
That is a true story.
Oh, well, you're pulling a face then. I thought you were like, no, not at all. So I'm guessing we can't really talk about the other brand, the other company. One question I want to ask you, because this is something that always, not panics me, but I always get a little anxious in the back of my head. What went through your mind, or what went through your whole being when you first opened that letter?
It was, I knew it was coming.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. But for me, I just wanted to not prove people wrong, but I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't bullied.
Yeah.
But I just didn't. I didn't realize being naive in the world to the fact that you could be bullied and by a huge company like that. And I still want to keep the name,
right?
Because I still wanted to say, yours. I'm going to carry on because that was what I do. But sometimes you just have to, admit defeat and just shout about what you want to do somewhere else, and leave them to it. But yeah, my heart sank. The letter came through, and it was a proper letter, and I thought these guys aren't messing around. And luckily I had a friend at Next who had a friend who was a trademark lawyer, and she gave me free advice. And otherwise I wouldn't have got any money at all. But she helped me compose a letter and go back to them. So she knew that they couldn't take me to court on the name, but they had me on. It's called confusion, and that was a legal definition. So it was legit, but they would pay out if I just asked.
Okay.
Nice.
But it worked out. We've now got Dot and Lola.
Yeah. No, really happy. And like most things in life, things happen for good reason. Yeah. And if that wouldn't have happened, we wouldn't be where I definitely don't think we would have. It probably would have been finished, that business, because I didn't have the mission behind it. I didn't have the story and my family and the reason I'm doing it behind it. So I would have given up knocking on doors. And we certainly wouldn't be in the Mandarin Oriental. Definitely.
Amazing. Everything happens for a reason, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
absolutely.
How are we doing for time, Moles? Have we still got some time before the break? I'll tell you what, because I want to explore the other two stories and dive deeper into them. Just before the break, shall we get mystery mishaps out of the way, our other game, and then we can dive deeper into those two. Okay. I say get it out of the way as if it's an
he begrudges it.
I think this is one of my favourite games ever. Okay, now I've gone for something quite close to your heart on this one as well, I think. So, once again, if you are listening at home or watching at home, do play along. I'd love to get to know your thoughts. Just drop any comments into our social medias and let us know your scores. So, Mystery Mishaps is a simple game. Okay. I've got in my mind or on my piece of paper here a brand. This one is a retail store, okay, that's either gone bust, they had some difficulty, they either nearly went bust or came back. I'm going to share with you sort of 5.5 clues. You have got to guess who I'm talking about. You are pitted against Sophia. So how are we doing on the scores at the moment?
Oh, gosh.
Scores are... The guest is winning.
Okay. So no pressure.
Okay.
So what are the scores?
10-6.
10-6.
Wow.
Okay. So
this is Steph still when he wiped the floor with me.
He did wipe the floor with you, absolutely. So
can we answer as quick as possible, or
first one
shout
it out?
As soon as
you can hold it back if you want. You can. It's up to you. So this is a UK beauty brand. Very much a household name in the 1970s. A lot of commitment towards natural ingredients.
Body care, Body Shop.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 1-0 to Gavin. Yeah, that was the exact answer. Yeah. Would you like to hear the clues all the same?
Yes.
So, clue number 1: the beauty brand was founded by an entrepreneur who wanted to create natural, sustainable cosmetics free from animal testing. Mm-hmm. Clue number 2: would you have got that?
I would have guessed it was.
Oh, okay, that's right then. The brand became famous for its refillable packaging and activism on issues like climate change and ethical sourcing. Clue number 3: 2006, the company was acquired by a large multinational corporation, sparking a customer boycott over fears it was compromised its values, which I wasn't aware had happened, to be honest. Yeah. There was a big backlash. They tried to reassure customers, and then it's still going today, isn't it? Probably known most for its body butters.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they were founded by Anita Roddick in 1976. 2006, it was acquired by L'Oreal, sparking backlash from loyal customers.
Yep.
Which, like I said, I didn't realise. So what gave it away for you? How did you get that so quick?
The plant-based, the sustainability, and the
God damn it!
Yeah, because it's a big. It's one of them. They were too early to what they were doing, and if they were to launch now, they would wipe the floor with everyone.
Yeah.
Literally.
They were kind of ahead of their time, weren't
exactly.
they?
With the refills and I think that's now acceptable, whereas before everyone was a bit like, well, why would I do that? Why would I refill it? That's just a mess.
Yeah.
And now it's like it's the only thing to do. It's the right thing to do.
Do you ever get that kind of objection? When you're sort of pitching and selling, do you ever get that kind of objection from hotels?
Yeah, massively. Some are like, what's the legislation? Does it have to be cleaned out? Does it get contaminated? Some of my guests won't like it because someone else has used it. And my answer is like, well, someone else sits on the toilet. Someone else sleeps in that bed. Yeah. Someone else.
You don't get fresh, brand new sheets, do you?
No, they're cleaned, right? And all we ask the housekeeping team is to wipe the bottle. It's and you can't see inside, which is the beauty of it. So you can't see that it's half full. So no one knows. I get it if it's half full and it's plastic and you see through it. It's like, ooh, it's not yours. And yeah, we do have feedback saying, oh, my customers won't like it. But I said, have you asked them? Never. They never even ask them. They don't even try. So, they're waking up and they're slowly getting the gist of it and the fact that people now want it. Yeah. One hotel, I won't name, said their customers come down after their stay and say, oh, it's a bit weird. You're still giving away like little miniatures. And I was like, have you acted on that? Oh, no. Like all the customers saying it. Yeah. Like, why are you giving away miniatures?
I think there is a move towards that sustainability side of things. I was staying at a hotel in Amsterdam just a couple of weeks ago, and they did a great thing. I've never experienced this. You're more travelled than I, so it could just be. So you're going to say, oh, it's been going on for 20 years. I don't know. But where you could opt out of housekeeping for a bottle of wine. And I thought that was great because I'm a massive clean freak anyway. We're only staying 2 nights. So I'm one of these people that will clean the room before the housekeeping comes in because I don't want to think I'm a tramp or anything.
Yes.
So I thought, well, why would we want housekeeping to come in for a 2-night stay to make the bed, tart things up and stuff when we can get a bottle of rosé for free?
Absolutely.
It's got to be a trend towards
incentive,
that.
Yeah.
Is that a new thing or is that?
I've not heard of that. I did stay in a hotel the other day. The other day, to be fair. And it was the hotel where I said we literally on the first day when we got in, then immediately had to go out to the shops to buy shampoo and conditioner and body wash because the only thing on the wall was like the push pump, where it's all 3.
Which
I don't think it's any.
No, yeah, well, it's
0.
just detergent basically.
And then, but then they had like the soap. That is like the sheets of paper, and you wash it in your hands.
Oh wow!
And it turns into soap. I
was
like they've gone really eco there,
minimal, yeah.
And then they've gone for that, and I was like, I can't get a read on what's happening. And I just looked at the thing on the wall, and I thought, I'm not putting that on my head.
No.
And so we had to go and buy it all over again.
Oh wow!
You need to get Gavin in touch with them.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll take a quick break there, and then we'll touch upon Gavin's other 2 stories for fail or fiction. So stay tuned for these short messages, and we're back in 1.5 minutes. We've got some exciting news to share with everyone, haven't we, Sophia?
Absolutely, we have.
We have set up our brand spanking new, our new creative studios called
Paragon Creative Studios.
What an original name. Yeah, absolutely. So we've been kind of hinting at this for quite some time now, haven't we, Sophia?
Yes, absolutely we have. We wanted to give you a little taste of what we have to offer, and now we are ready to launch.
We are ready to go. The keys are in the door. The painting's done. The carpet's just about laid. And we're good to go. And we are excited to open those doors to you. We are, of course, going to use a studio to record the How I Failed in Business podcast. But what else are we going to do over there?
We are also going to be offering an array of services. Whether you just need a space to record your own podcast, you can absolutely hire out the venue from us. It's fully customizable. Or, hey, maybe you've got some ideas, but you don't know where to start with them. That's okay. We are also offering fully produced podcasts. That's it. From conception to publishing, we've got it all. We can handle your branding, your social media, and we can record and edit for you.
Absolutely. You've hit the nail on the head there. Absolutely. Maybe you're sat there and you think, oh, I want to start a podcast. I can do a better job than Rob and Sophia. I want to tell my story. We can produce it for you with full professional equipment, full professional production, full professional editing. Just run by 2 unprofessional idiots, to be honest. If you'd like to learn more, if this has piqued your interest, all you've got to do is visit our website, paragoncreativestudios.co.uk. Just Google Paragon Creative Studios, drop us a message on social media. We'll get in touch and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. Hi guys, and welcome back. Thank you for listening to that short break. We were just in the middle of playing Fail or Fiction when we took a little break for Mystery Mishaps, and again I was defeated. So let's see if perhaps I have a bit better luck.
You're letting the side down.
I know. It's because I'm out here on my own.
There's all like, I'm all for letting the guests win. And
Well, the very first time we ever played, I did exactly what you did, and before Rob had even...
you
hadn't even, it was Tom Clark.
No, when we did the
Blackberry.
For the first one we did, it was me being stupid with my clues though, because I just went, right, this iconic mobile phone known for its keyboards.
Blackberry.
Yeah. Nonsense. So, no, well done all the same.
Oh, good,
well done.
good.
But you need to up your game, Sophia, I
I'm
think.
sorry. So, Fail or Fiction. We've already dropped our odds. We got one right.
We have. So, reminders
Now-
of the stories.
So my eBay store
Yeah.
Mhm.
with the adult toys, the gravel, impregnator.
Yeah.
So yeah, and obviously the true story about the name change.
Okay, so it's a real tough one because I can see both of them being true because, like I say, you said you're a serial entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are problem solvers. They will look around and they go, I don't like how that's being done. There's a better way, and they'll try and solve that problem. So I think that could be a true
Yeah.
story. I think
If it's not, it's a great idea and someone should get on it.
yeah, but then the most realistic idea is that you were selling these
And there
adult
was
toys.
there was a lot of layers to that story. I think it came across very detailed.
Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna probe, which is
Okay.
ironic for the adult toy story.
Tread carefully.
What was the name of your eBay store?
It's just my name, just Gavin Taylor.
Okay.
Yeah,
Doesn't
so,
have the
yeah.
same ring as Ann Summers, but we'll go with it.
No,
Okay.
yeah, I didn't know what I was going to sell at the time.
Okay.
But then I discovered dropshipping, and no one was selling adult toys at that time.
Right.
So yeah,
Am I allowed to ask another question on that?
Go on then.
What was your best-selling product?
well, the rabbit.
The rabbit. Damn
yeah.
it. Okay, I was like,
The
trying to
ra-
catch
yeah,
my
Don't
yeah,
ask
answer.
stupid questions, Rob. Come on.
Okay. What about the gravel one? Okay, so you mentioned you went through a whole patenting process.
So at no point in the conception of the idea did you take the beginnings of the idea to the council to see if perhaps it could happen?
No, because that's how I work. You know, it's got to work. So I'm running with it. I'm hell bent. This is going to change the way we lay roads in this country. It's going to make it easier. It's going to save them money. But you won't have to do it ever again.
Yeah.
You don't have to paint the roads ever again. You know, it's done until they relay the tarmac. And so I thought if the gravel was white and impregnated into the soft tarmac at the same time as laying it,
Yeah.
then you've got the lines all done, dusted, permanently.
Molly, we're going to need your
Yeah,
input
Molly.
here. We're going to need your insight. Which is the most likely to be true here?
eBay.
You think eBay's
You
true?
think eBay's true?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm erring towards that, and the only reason is, okay, I've gone super glass onion here. Okay,
Mhm.
Gavin off camera. Gavin said that on his way in, he was thinking about the stories. If he's on his way in, he's on a road. If he's on a road, he's seen line markings. So I think that this
Inspector here.
is an idea that he's only just thought of in the past half an hour potentially.
Okay.
It could be an idea that he's had for a while.
I'm
Maybe.
I'm willing to lock in that the eBay is true.
Okay, Molly.
Are we
Yep.
all we concur?
Gavin, did you have an eBay store selling adult toys?
I did, yes.
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. So before we go on to that story, because it'd be interesting to learn more. Where did the gravel story come from?
It has been a thought of mine in the past. I've never set up the business, but obviously coming here,
Yeah.
um,
Roads.
good inspecting. I've always I've thought that needs to change. But
Yeah.
it's not something that I've ever done.
So we'll
Or-
be stealing that idea since
Yeah,
you just told us
exactly.
you've not patented it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're right. I think part of me sometimes I think councils like doing work because
Yeah,
then
of
they get
course.
someone to pay.
And they get more funding the next year. And
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because it breaks my heart, especially in Leicester. You're a Leicestershire lad. I'm a big advocate for Leicester, and it breaks my heart. You know, when they're doing roadworks in the city centre, and you see this lovely old cobblestone, you see these lovely tram tracks that are sat there under like meters of tarmac.
Literally.
Unleash the tram tracks. Like,
Well, I used to live just off Tudor Road, my first house, and every now and again the frost would break the tarmac, and it would break away, and you saw the old pebble, cobbles. I'm like, why would you cover them up? There's no reason. There's just no reason, and they're still there.
They're proving the test of time, aren't they?
They're still there.
You know, one of the I was in Prague recently, and Prague is just cobble.
Oh yeah, it really is.
It's just cobble.
I came off the back of an electric scooter there thanks to those cobblestones.
Yeah, don't get wrong, in heels. Not that I was wearing heels, but not ideal. But even like the tram tracks, and like if you look at a lot of these cities and towns where they've got a nice ecosystem of good public transport, it's run on trams.
Yeah,
we've got a tram network that we're just like, he's gonna.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So Mr. Peter Soulsby, whatever his name is, get it sorted. So that was a complete false story. But you're the Gavin Taylor sex shop.
Yeah,
completely real.
It was, and I seriously thought, because obviously hairdressing at the beginning is very low paid, £40 a week. I was earning double that in tips, but it still wasn't enough. I just bought my first house. God knows. Well, I do know how I afforded it because I never paid the mortgage, because I knew that if I rented my spare room, you didn't get taxed on that, and they paid my mortgage. So I lived for free for kind of 8 years in my first house. But I needed to earn more money, and at the time, I had more disposable income than I guess I do now. Now we've got family and other responsibilities, but the fact that it was easy. And dropshipping had just been born. eBay shops weren't selling toys, and it was a no-brainer. But when the authorities obviously shut it down, and for good reason, I was, like you were saying, I was working, so it wasn't as if I didn't have money. So I just let it go. Yeah. What I should have done is just set up a simple shop and carried it on, because I didn't touch the stock. I didn't have nothing to do with it. I just pressed a button, ordered it, and it would be shipped to that person in discreet packaging. So but it's one of them that got away, I guess.
the rabbit that got away, so to speak. But it's a shame, because like I say, I think I guess that would have been early 2000s.
Yeah, it was,
give or take. And I think, look, if you'd have held that out, because I think like sex toys and sex in particular is like becoming a lot more. Less of a taboo.
Yes, I guess that's it. Yeah.
And I think if you'd have held out, you look at like the emergence of like Love Honey. Before it was just Ann Summers or that seedy place down the road or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
But now it's very much, there's a lot more. We were talking about, what was that other brand we were talking about with Lucy and Katie on the podcast? Yeah. There's another one, isn't there? But it's a shame that no offense to your name. I think maybe a better brand name than Gavin Taylor.
Don't really associate that.
Yeah.
But also, I wanted to keep it cloak and dagger, because I didn't want my family to find out or any of my friends to know. So that was why it was really good that it was just separate and I didn't have anything to do with it.
And now you've come and talked about it on a podcast.
Yeah, now I've told everyone, and maybe my mum will listen, find out. But no, it was one of them. It was very quick. It was like a matter of weeks, like 6 weeks.
Oh really?
Because obviously first week sales, click, and I was thinking this is amazing. Second week, my boss was like, "Oh, can I get in on this?" At the time, I was like, "Yeah, let's both do it." And third week, start getting the emails, questioning it, and then fourth and fifth, they're saying it's just been restricted and not being shown. And again, the algorithms just weren't clever enough to differentiate the two items.
It's not somewhere you want to mix up.
But I think that does show the world we're in now to where we are before. Because like you say, back then it was very much taboo. Yeah. I was in a Tesco just 2 weeks ago, and before, like down the sort of pharmacy aisle, there'd be like one box of just plain Durex and maybe some KY.
Yeah.
Genuine sex toys. Genuine vibrators, dildos, the old...
Yeah.
I don't know what the best term is. The
On
old
the top shelf.
Yeah, but like in arm's reach, like
Really?
no covers, you could see them.
No
you know,
way.
very, very prominent, and I think just shows where we've kind of gone in as society. But I don't want to kind of probe a bit more because if it's okay, I've not really prepped you for this. Before we play Jingle Tingle, we were talking about your former life as a hairdresser and so on.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to ask that question. That's a silly question. So, because you had a very successful hair salon in Rothley.
That's right. Yeah.
I think you sold that business. Is that right?
Yeah, I sold that about 9 months ago. The process took nearly 12 months from start to finish. Well, it probably took 2 years from start to finish through lots of complications, stress. But the 12 months was super stressful. And I was at the point of like just giving it away, because it was just so stressful. There were 3 lots of solicitors involved, and but finally sold it to our senior stylist at the time, who's making a further success of it, which I'm really pleased about, because the clients that I used to do still go, and that's what I wanted. I wanted them. We started a movement in hairdressing, being sustainable, being more about the client than the salon itself, and I'm really proud that we, as a salon, we were able to get Rothley with 10 other businesses. We were able to get Rothley's plastic-free accreditation. So Rothley is now a plastic-free village in the UK, and we even convinced the co-op in Rothley to use compostable bags, and they've rolled it out all over the country now, and it's hard because the team, when you're working with a team, they don't always buy into what you see, and I guess that was tough for me. One of the reasons I left the salon is because not everyone sees what I see and believes in what I believe. And when you're talking hair, the ultimate reason I did sell the salon is because what we're doing is we're damaging people's hair, cutting it, which is fine, and then selling them a mask to treat the damage that we've done. And I'm like, that doesn't sit well. And forgive me for saying, but the pharmaceutical industry do that. And I didn't want to be associated with that kind of circle of deceit, really. So I'm now advocating for natural products, obviously, and they don't fix hair. It's like taking a magic pill to lose weight, or, have this burger and take this tablet.
Yeah.
No, just look after yourself first, and then we'll look after you on the back end. So I couldn't do both. I felt like I was lying to my customers and being diplomatic. And now I've not got the salon, I can shout about L'Oreal being crap and toxic, and the fact that I'm not working with anyone else, is I'm working with myself, and I'm not causing any damage to anybody or anything. Whereas a lot of hairdressers don't understand what I've just said, but if I tell them, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, we're bleaching people's hair, which is blowing the cuticle, blowing the cortex of the hair, which is the center of the hair, and damaging it beyond, you can't fix it." And then Olaplex come along, I'm naming all these names, to claim they can fix it at the time of bleaching, which it does. It keeps the molecules together, stops them blowing apart. But then they sell you an aftercare, and what the consumer doesn't understand is they use it too much, which then causes your hair to go brittle. So all the reasons I just don't want to be involved in the industry, I want to forge my own path and be the thought leader going forward that changes the way we live, because that's the whole reason. If you get up in the morning and you feel confident in your own skin, you don't need any false. You don't need. I'm trying to almost convince women to stop wearing makeup, because that's false. I know it's a hard thing to ever do, to go out the house without makeup on, but men do. Why do
Yeah.
And I just feel that we should all be happy in our own skin. It's only because society it's accepted, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think it's a great mission. It goes back to what I said earlier. The one thing I've come to really love about you and your passion is you truly believe in what you're pushing and talking about. I think there's some really valid points there. And, I'm worried about our next generations. I think we've talked about this because, like you said, there's an abundance of comparison. There's an abundance of makeup. I think even now filters on social media. Social media as a whole is horrible, and it's scary. So in terms of, just quickly, just before we play Jingle Tingle, that decision of selling the salon then, because one thing we've never really talked about on the podcast too much is like exit strategy and business owners leaving businesses. You've created this salon, you've created this business because it was called Gavin Taylor Hair. So you've built this brand, you've built this whole thing, and you've then taken this decision to sell it. Now, for me as a business owner, that scares the shit out of me because one day that could happen to me. I could sell Paragon, move on, and so on. How did that feel? Have you come to terms with that?
It's weird because I still feel that mission's still alive because it's carried on through a senior stylist, although she's putting her own stamp on it, which is great, and her own ideas, which is equally important. But I was done. 27 years in the industry. I was done not faking it, but just being diplomatic. I think we went, I'll be honest and open that we went through lockdown. That knocked me. I was ready to close. I didn't want to come back after that because I felt the same thoughts.
But there was a lot of hair to cut after
COVID.
Exactly.
Exactly. So we hit the ground running and that was amazing. But then we lost my wife's mum, quickly. And that just devastated all of us. And I thought, why am I living, not a lie, but why am I not, doing what I want to do? So that was the point. It's like, right, that's it. We had the conversation and lucky enough, she wanted to buy. And I thought, I can always cut hair. That's easy to me. This is the next rung on the ladder, the next step. And if I can make just a little dent in the trajectory of climate change or sustainability, or just be that catalyst that forges this ahead, even if it's that, it means selling the salon was the right thing to do.
Love that.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're going to say...
Can I ask a question?
Of course you can, sorry.
He's always straight in there.
Sorry.
Just to take it back to hair and makeup, because I think it's so interesting. I had a really strange experience at the start of this year where, for actually nothing to do with my hair, but for financial reasons, I've been dyeing my hair since I was 14, 25. And throughout my entire years at uni, I was bleach blonde. I had basically silver hair.
Wow.
Completely unnatural, and I would get it done sort of every 6 to 8 weeks standard, and I was getting it done for years and years. And I made the decision to go back more brunette, just purely for a maintenance reason, because it's a nightmare.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then I went more brunette and more. And then it got to the point where it was kind of able to blend back in with my hair. And I never got it dyed again. I always meant to get highlights put back in. And to be fair, I've not been good because I've not even cut it. Again, purely I'm like, because I used to spend £186 on my hair every 6 weeks.
Crazy, right?
Insane.
Yeah.
And now I spend nothing.
Ooh, this is what I'm saying. Yeah.
And I can't imagine now going back, because I think I really needed to, and you can explain this to someone as much as you want, but the way that it feels so different and is so different, looks so different. The shine that comes off it now is just the light reflecting. It's not that I've put a product onto it that's added this glow. Exactly. And you can't replicate it. It's not the same. It doesn't feel the same. And it has been so extraordinary. And I'm like, now I'm not going to go back. Amazing. But it's been so difficult because I thought I would never stop being blonde.
Yes, yeah.
And I used to brush my hair and it would just powder off, just snap completely. Yes. And I think it's really, really been so telling. And when Olaplex came out and I did the whole thing, and I still do have I think it's the number 3 one.
Protein.
And like every month I'll put it in my hair.
Okay.
But it's so difficult to hair care, I think, becomes so associated with having to do something. It's like skincare.
Yes.
You have to really actively be doing it.
Yes.
To be doing it properly. And what I think everyone really needs to do is lift their foot up off the gas.
Yeah.
And it's so tricky because then you feel like you're not doing enough and you don't see these results.
But the true way of really solving this issue is prevention, or don't do it in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's like food. If you eat healthy food, you can eat healthy, delicious food. And you don't necessarily, obviously you have to exercise, but you wouldn't have to then go to the gym. It's music to my ears hearing your story, because I plan on putting together it sounds extravagant, but putting together a course for women and men, if you like, that can follow this course on self-esteem, self-love, belief, and you come out the other side 6 months later with natural hair. I mean, the odd bit makeup's fine, but it's when it's it's not.
Well, I will say I only wear it when we're recording.
But it's
90% of the time there's nothing. Yeah.
But it's fine, absolutely fine to wear makeup. I'm not saying don't wear it at all, but what we are being conditioned to do is hide behind this mask. And that's what we were doing with hair. The silicone, the synthetic silicone, was coating the hair to make it look shiny, feel smooth. Underneath, it's knackered. It's knackered. So let's get us back. So everyone's not walking around identical, because that's how I see it. I see a lot of avatars in the world, and all wearing the same fashion, the same look. Whoever's telling them on the catwalk what to wear, and how do they know what's coming in season? They know what's coming in season because they've told the manufacturers what to sew and what to make. So you've got to then market that to the customer. And so I'm trying to just peek behind get people to peek behind the curtain of the like Wizard of Oz, and just call people out. Like, you don't have to do that anymore. Just be you, because so much happier.
So much, yeah.
It's a better way to be.
Yeah.
Are there any, just before we play Jingle Tingle, I've got a friend who has a magnificent quiff. Are there any plans for any sort of like sustainable hair products that could maintain a magnificent quiff?
So yeah, I guess this is something once we stabilize the business and we're profiting, clearly profiting, we'll invest back into haircare, because haircare is really quite difficult to make naturally. I'll be honest, shampoo's easier because it has a base formula and then you add on top of the base formula. Each styling product is a different formulation for each product. Yeah. So it can be very expensive to formulate and make. Yeah. So what, again, I would simplify products. So you'd probably have a salt spray in there for your hair, maybe a beeswax or some sort of paste, and then a protein spray. And that's it. You wouldn't need anything else, because the salt spray would hold your hair. The paste would do the same, but the protein spray for strength. But other than that, maybe some supplements coming into the brand to take, because we don't get enough nutrients from food. We just don't, because it's grown again artificially.
Yes, yeah. No, it's handy to know. I am the trademark quiff may change soon. I was in talks with my hairdresser today.
Yes,
I might be going full on sort of Bradley Cooper Hangover style. I might go like long and
well, long, this is where I'm going.
Is it
midlife crisis? This
is slow down. I'm quarter life. Right, we'll play Jingle Tingle before we sort of Oh gosh, so Jingle Tingle's an easy concept.
Okay,
I've got 3 vintage retro adverts. Okay, normally TV adverts. Some of them have got a jingle. Some of them are just worded. You've got to guess what brand, which product, what product, what brand it is, really. Once again, it's UV. Sophia, are we keeping scores on this? Is it on the
Molly's
same
ready.
Score sheet? Same score sheet. Okay, so just feel free to shout out.
Sure.
One of these is really easy. The other 2, not so much.
Okay.
Okay, you ready for number 1?
For the best. Who not?
Peter Kay.
I'm 55.
It is Peter Kay.
Oh.
PG Tips.
No,
not PG Tips.
Daz.
Say again, sorry?
Daz.
Not Daz.
I can't remember.
What's he done? He's done everything.
Oh, is that
No.
Club? What's the club?
Phoenix Nights.
Phoenix Nights.
Great sitcom. So the product was.
Oh,
We've already had the product on the podcast. This is a different advert. It's. I don't really know the difference. It might be an ale, might be a beer.
Oh.
Very like manly drink.
Is it a brand of that we would
Newcastle
know?
Brown Ale,
No, along the same lines. I'll give you another guess
Blue Moon.
each.
Guinness.
Blue what?
Blue Moon.
Is that a thing?
It's an
Is it?
ale, yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. So, oh, yeah. I'm clearly an ale
Rob,
drinker.
very manly.
I don't know. I was going to say a stout, but
Oh, John Smith.
John Smith's.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh, well
1-0 to Sophia. It is John Smith's. If you
I
don't
was
get,
like, what's a proper like geezer
Yeah.
drink?
be on the edge of your seats for this one. If you don't get this, I'd be pleasantly surprised. Hold on.
Kit Kat. No, it's Kit Kat.
No guesses? I've got blank faces all around. Molly,
Club. It was Club.
any ideas?
If you like a lot of chocolate on your
Your
biscuit,
biscuit.
join our
Club.
club. A club.
A club? I thought if you don't
I was
get
like-
this.
I thought it was a Kit Kat.
Right, final one. Now this one, full transparency, the advert I think came out maybe in the like 70s or 80s,
Mm-hmm.
but I think they've like reused it to
Okay.
the 90s kind of thing. So
Yeah.
here's
Okay.
the third and final one.
Smash.
Smash! It was Smash. Well done. He's got one. He's got one. So yeah, it was the advert with the aliens. Yeah. Because they did reuse that concept quite a lot, didn't they?
Brilliant.
I think. You
No
know.
way.
Were you a Smash eater, Sophia?
I did. You know what? I remember having Smash at a friend's house.
Mm.
Not for me.
Really?
No.
Not for me.
What about you? Do you?
Yeah, Jane's mum used it quite a bit, but yeah, wasn't for us.
Really? Molly still eats Smash. Yes. Well, look, we'll start to wrap up the podcast there. I'd love people to learn more about Dot and Lola, this great product here. How can people get involved? How can people see that wonderful photo of you and the family? Where's best to find you?
Sure. So it's dotandlola.co.uk, and we're on all socials as well. If you type in Dot and Lola, you'll come across our products. But yeah, it's now in quite a few hotels, hair salons. We're even a salon in Milan, which is
Wow.
amazing. But it's weird. We're getting a lot of overseas interest. Believe it or not, I think overseas countries are more sustainable than we are. Way ahead. I think the UAE are now planning to be the most sustainable country in the world in the next 2 years. Because they just can. So we're getting a lot of interest over there. But like I said at the beginning, I want to start here.
Yeah.
This is where it matters, and I care about this country. So
And you really can. So yeah, any hospitality, any hotels, or any salons that want to learn more, get in touch. And we'll make sure that we drop your links in the show notes below for you. And anyone we recognise, we'll send them your way. So thanks
you
so
so
much for
much.
joining us. It was great.
thank you.
Great
No,
session.
had a great time.
No, thanks for coming. Who wants to sign? Who signed off last time?
I think I signed off last time.
Do you want me to? You can take it again if you
Okay.
want. You take it. Over to you.
Oh.
1 minute
1
from
minute.
Molly.
Okay, well, wrapping up rapid fast then. Yes, so all those links will be in the show notes. Absolutely get in touch. Dot and Lola, an incredible brand doing an incredible thing. And if you want to get in touch with us, we are How I Failed in Business, just about everywhere across socials. If you'd like to come on the podcast, we're always looking for new guests. You can send us a DM or you can send us an email at howifailedinbusiness@gmail.com. And a reminder, we do have our live show or have just had our live show.
I think it's coming up.
Tickets are available at Leicester Business Festival, and again, they will be in the show notes below. That was my very, very quick signing off. But thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you in the next one.